Working on it. This under here, maybe that'll work. Ha ha! There we go. Check that. Oh my God. How does my wife do this? Okay, hold on. Holy moly. Okay. Oof. This is the new digs. All right. What do I need here? Now I gotta figure out how to elevate this sucker so that I can talk into it. Otherwise I gotta go, hello everybody. I'm gonna talk like this, right up next to the microphone. Opening it up. Okay. It's gonna be a good day. All right. Check, check, 1 2 1 2. Check, check. Oh, we are really loud. Let's turn that down. Turning down the gain. Check, check, 1 2 1 2. Okay, so this is still kind of loud. Check, check. All right, cool. Good. That's good. All right, perfect. Now, I gotta figure out a way to elevate this freaking microphone. How does one do that here? I don't know. I need the box of Kleenex that I use back in the other place. So this is how it works, guys. Have microphone will travel. Works for voiceover, works for podcasting, works for whatever. And today I'm going to be talking about some fun stuff. Hey, what about that? How does this work, maybe? No? This go up there? No? Okay. I don't know. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. I'll make it work. Got an idea. Okay, I think I might have it. Ha ha. Let's see if it works. Let's find out together. What do we see? What do we say? Let's see if this will sit here. That will sit there. It's not the best, but I'll turn it this way. Oh. It's not great for you guys, obviously. So hold on, work this out. Excuse me while I whip this out. See, my wife has everything lined up, and I am trying desperately to make it work. Hey, Luigi, ¿qué pasó? What's happening, baby? All right. So, yeah, this is where I got you guys. This is the only way I can do it. There we go. Get this out of the way. And there's my microphone. It's over here. It's kind of in the way. Let's see if I can do it this way. Hey, it's not the best, but it works, it seems. There we go. See? Now there's a microphone right here. I can talk to you guys. La 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 la. Nice. Not so bad, not so bad. So, anyway, how y'all doing today? How is everybody in the world? Kelsey, what's up? I am fantabulous. Thank you for asking. I've already had some things going on today. I had a meeting. I do 20-minute see the matrix relationship calls on LinkedIn. So I talk to business people, anybody that wants to connect with me, etc. I reach out and say, hey guys, how you doing? And instead of just connect with me, well, instead of just that, I say, hey, if we're going to connect, I want to talk to you. I want to know who you are. How can I help you? How can I connect you with other people if I don't know who you are? So I say, all right, great. And then I use them, I do a Spike Connect, which is I spotlight them in one of my posts. And I connect them with people that I think can help them, or maybe their clients, et cetera, et cetera. So that's one of my business things. Working a little with your podcast. Excellent. Well, this is number 28, I think, my podcast. I'm not sure. I'm hoping the sound is going to be good. It seems like it's okay, and it's a very interesting podcast today. I had to say something about it because it's just interesting. It's a mindset thing, and about giving up and quitting and all that. I don't really know where it's going to go, but I'm gonna ramble on, baby. That's what I do. I ramble on. And we joined a gym yesterday. We joined World Gym because we got this place because there's a sauna, a pool, a playground, a gym, and all this great stuff, and it's all closed, which makes zero sense here. It's like corporate. They're like, oh, COVID, coronavirus, blah blah blah. We're gonna shut everything down. It was like, we're in Queensland. There's like no coronavirus, none, zero. I mean, does that make any sense? No. So that's where I'm like, okay, the fear has gone absolutely ballistic and everybody's out of their fucking mind. Okay, gonna start recording my next podcast. I get a lot of topics to talk about. Cool. All right, man. That's fantastic. Keep going, man. Get those podcasts out there. Have fun with it. I mean, I know there's a ton of podcasts out there. Everybody's got a podcast. That's totally cool. As long as it's something that's worth listening to, people will find you. My people are finding me. I know that. It's funny because what I'm going to talk about today about mindset, it's, I'm following the mindset as well. This is not just something I'm just randomly throwing out there. It's like the things that I teach, I also learn. And that's one of the best ways to learn something is to teach it. Because you may know how to do something really, really well, but until you teach it, you don't really realize how well you know it. And that's one of the things that with mindset, you have to continually work those muscles. So that's what I'm going to talk about today a little bit. And we'll get into that in about 5 minutes or so. But yeah, the gym. So yeah, we joined the gym and I worked out there yesterday. So a little bit sore. It's good. It's good sore. Good. I like it. I just felt good lifting again. But I mean, I wish it was open here. That would be really great if it were open here. But it's not. I don't think. It would really suck if it opens up like today. We just spent the money to join a gym. Well, damn it. But you know what? We took action. That's the thing. You got to take action. So there it is, man. There it is. Yeah. A little tired right now. Have you ever had to move in a 24-hour notice? It's like going, oh, by the way, we're going to almost, we're going to double, maybe triple your rent. So, and we're going to start tomorrow. What? It's crazy. Well, that's what happened to us. So, we were like, no. And you know what? It was time for a change anyway. We've been there since, let's see, April, May, June, 3 months plus, a couple weeks. So, if you look at that, that's kind of our time frame. If we stay someplace for 3 months, then we get kind of antsy. It's like, okay, well, maybe we need to move. Maybe we need to go somewhere else. Now, I mean, we'll plan for that, much better in the future. Let's see. If you're doing well, let you know if you want to do it. Cool. Yeah, let's talk about it. Yeah, let me know. I'd like for you to get past maybe 10, 20 episodes first and get all the kinks out. And then we'll talk. Because it does take a little time, because I'm still working on how I'm going to do my my interviews. And I think I'm going to interview Kim. I'm going to get with her. We're going to say, okay, let's schedule this. Let's make this happen. We'll do an interview. She'll be in here, and I'll be in the living room, and we'll do it on Zoom. It will be a real interview, because she is amazing, and she has spoken at conventions, and we've actually done the Reluctant Hero's Journey talk together, along with lots of my food game, Don't Kill Your Date, and other cooking tips. So she'll be my first guest, and we'll talk all about, personal growth and self-help and relationships, because we have one. I think it's a pretty darn good one, too. I do love her immensely, and she's super amazing. So, yeah, so we get that done, and like I said, I think we're gonna do it with Zoom, and then I've got to figure out how to upload it and play it for you guys. So I think I can do that. But then again, who knows? I don't, cause I'm go with the flow. I am flexible with the flow. Flexible with the flow. There you go. And I had a great talk tonight. So some of you know, so I'm trained in NLP, and there's something that I am certified in. It's called timeline therapy, and it's a way, it's used to treat PTSD in the UK and like Bosnia and Serbia, something like that. And it's really effective, and it's really, really good. But I do it one-on-one, and I talked with a guy today who's done it. He's worked with a guy who they've done it one-to-many. I'm like, wow, how do you do that? Because that's, it can get pretty hairy, depending on, who you're working with, right? And what kind of trauma they've had in the past. Because I've seen it. I mean, it's like people like going, like really losing their shit. And we work with them, and you could work with them, and you work them through it and guide them through it. But, if you're in a room full of like 20 people, okay, now I want you to focus on this, and somebody loses their shit, you're like, ah! It kind of messes up everybody else. So it was really interesting talking. So I learned something really awesome today. And I enjoyed that very much. So I met a cool guy. And, that's how you roll, guys. You got to meet other people. You have to connect. And you have to communicate and develop those relationships. Like I'm developing with you guys. I mean, you guys see me podcast stuff. Now you're podcasting. Other people are just kind of, lurking and hanging out and listening. Welcome to you as well, my friends. If you are watching and you have not followed me yet, please follow me. I really love that. And there you go. So, all right. It is 12:14. Red is here. Hey, Red, I'm about to start my podcast in just a second. I'm going to be free-flowing with it. I'm not really sure what all I'm going to say, guys. I got this hit as a divine download. I was like, hey, you know what? Talk about this because it's really interesting. So, so here we go. I'm going to fire this up and let's talk it out, yo. Let me get this here and boop-de-doop-de-doo. Here we go. Hey there, welcome to my podcast. Yes, this is the Mind Scrambler podcast. This is Spike Spencer, your host. And today, I have an interesting divine download, I guess. I call it, Houston, we have a problem between our ears. Tackling failure head on, like an astronaut. Now, what the hell does that all mean? Well, I'm going to tell you. So, I have been we watched First Man the other day. So we are still in Australia. We moved to a new apartment further into Surfer's Paradise, and so we are watching. We watch our movies at night. That's kind of our relief from the day. We work very, very hard, and then at night it's like, well, all right, let's watch a movie. So we have Netflix, and we're still trying to get Disney Plus over here so we can get caught up on all our Marvel, X-Men, or whatever it is we're working on right now. I think we're going to start Star Wars next, which would be fitting. So we watched First Man, and with Ryan Gosling. It's a really, really good movie. I'm telling you right now, really good. Highly recommend it, especially if you're into the space race, etc. And I remember watching like The Right Stuff back in the 80s, and the amazing cast, and it was all about getting to the moon, and this is the same thing, only it really focuses on Neil Armstrong and the pressures and the trials and so many tragedies and things that he went through to get to where he was. Now, most people don't think about what people go through to get to where they are. Most people don't know how many failures that people go through before they make it. I can give you a list of all my failures. I got plenty, and I'm sure I got plenty more coming. And the same thing happened with the space race, with Neil, with everybody who is a success. You have to look at so many failures to get to where they are. The reason why I bring up Houston, we have a problem, because NASA went through so many failures and deaths. This is the thing. At what point do you say, okay, I'm going to give up? We can't do this. The cost is too high. In our own lives, we do it all the time. Something doesn't work, you go, nah, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And I am guilty, completely guilty of that myself. The question you have to ask yourself is, how bad do you want it? Do you want to get to the moon? Your moon, whatever that is. How bad do you want it? Think about that for a second. Why did we go to the moon? What was the deal? Why did we have to go to the moon in the first place? Because we had a space race with the Russians. And an incredible speech by John F. Kennedy when he says, we do the things not because they are easy, but because they are hard. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. He says, we're going to do it because it is hard. The getting to the moon was literally impossible at that time. And they said, you know what? No, it is not impossible. We are going to make the impossible possible. Everything that has ever been done at one point was probably impossible. Flying. Think about that. You get into a plane, it's a big metal tube. It is hugely heavy and it flies through the air. It's a huge pressurized tube with flammable gas. It's crazy. And yet it works. We made it to the moon. And it was, at the time, we look at it now as like, wow, that was amazing. We did that. We've gone into space many times. Now there's a space station up there, etc. At the time, when you look at it from then, the hindsight 2020 crap, when you look back at it, everybody wasn't behind it. I mean, yes, everybody was glued to the TV because there were 3 channels back then, and it was the most amazing thing that had ever happened. And it was incredibly cool. However, there was also a lot of public sentiment against it. It was government funds. Is it a waste of money? Is it a waste of time? Why are we even doing this when we need to be working on things here back home? Astronauts have died. There were astronauts like the 3 that died, Gus Grissom and the fire that happened on the launch pad. There were a lot of other astronauts that died in test runs in planes before. You never hear about them. We all know of Challenger and Columbia, but that's all after. So we had already been to space. It was like, oh, look, we're just going to pop up into space. That's going to happen. That is going to happen a lot. There will be more, and I hope not, but there probably will be other incidents as we move further and further into space, Mars, etc. My point here is the mindset that got us there. The mindset that got us there was, we're going to do this. We're going to make this happen, right? So where in your life are you doing the same thing? Where in your life are you giving up rather than making it to your moon? Where is it where you think, gosh, this is just impossible. I keep failing. And you keep going. And when do you say, God, I just give up? The cost is too high. Well, this is where I say, tackle that failure head on like an astronaut. The cost was high, yes. But they paid it. They paid it over and over and over again. There was a great line that, I don't know if Neil Armstrong ever actually said this line, but in First Man, he said, we fail down here so that we don't fail up there. And I was like, that makes so much sense, because if you fail here, and sometimes you fail here in between your ears until you can finally get that clean up there and you actually succeed. You're going to fail. It's going to happen. There's another quote that I heard James Wedmore say it, and I've heard it before. He said, success is a terrible teacher. Failure, you learn everything from failure, because it's not failure if you learn a lesson. You learn how not to do something. Great. Then it's not a failure. I learned how not to do it. Just like Thomas Edison. And he said every time he had a failure, somebody say, well, you failed, 100 times, you failed 200 times, 300 times, 1,000 times, however many times he failed, it was a lot. And he said, no, I did not fail. I just learned one other way that does not work to create electricity. Try this one, try that one, try this one, try that one. And if you think about it, look at, Apollo 13, for example. That was insane how they made that work. The challenge here is to look at something that is impossible for you, right? If it seems impossible for you, think about Apollo 13. Think about this like astronauts. You got 3 guys in there. One of them's got the flu. Now they're all sick. How crappy is that? Number one, it's freezing. They can't go to the moon. They didn't get to the moon. They were right there. They were going to walk on the moon. They didn't walk on the moon because something happened. So now, instead of looking at, here's our goal, we're looking at it right out the window. There's our goal. Now, suddenly, they have to focus on surviving. Now, talk about being present. That is a big lesson for being present. Not only that, they had to figure out with what they had on that, in the capsule, only things that they actually had. They had to rig up some way to get back home. Brilliant. The genius of it all. It's like there's always a way. That's astronaut thinking. There's always a way. If you think about it, if you have the passion for something, you will find a way. If you want to, I'm going to get to that moon. I'm going to get to that moon. Whatever your moon is, right? Failure is not an option. When somebody says, well, that didn't work. Okay, that's another way that I know that it didn't work. Now, what about this one? 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 Over and over and over and over and over and over again. Figure out, what are you working with? What do you have to do to make this happen? What do you have to utilize? How can you look at whatever you have, all the tools you have, how can you look at them differently? I mean, it is mind-boggling what they had to do. With the technology that we're working with right now, your cell phone, more technology than they had in the entire moon launch, the program, the entire space program. There's way more technology in this phone right now than they even had to work with then, and they got us to the moon. Now, don't get me started on why the hell we haven't been back to the moon. I don't get that. There should be a freaking Howard Johnson's on the moon right now. We should have a colony up there. We should be living up there. It's like, okay, we get up to the moon, now we have all this stuff and this. We use that base to launch off, to pop over to Mars. No problem. Just saying. I think we've been back to the moon. I'm just saying. I don't know. I have nothing to, I have no proof of any kind. I'm just like, why wouldn't we be? And who's going to know down here? I mean, I guess you can see now, but if you go to the dark side of the moon, nobody's going to see you. I don't know. I'm just saying. It seems interesting. But if you spend all this money, you do all this work to get to the moon, why not develop further? That's a side note, just thrown out there. The point I want to make with this is they had such a can-do attitude that even when there were setbacks, there was no question that they were going to stop. People died. I think if I do the math correctly, there were about 7 deaths before, while they were getting to the moon. So there were about 7 deaths there because there were guys who died in I think it was the T-38 or something like that. The train during the training in different planes and things of that nature. And there was the 3 who died on the launch pad. And then they still went to the moon. And think about this. They're developing technology as they go. No idea what they're doing. They have to make this up as they go. They're in a fight with the Russians who are already going. See, everybody landed on the moon. The Russians had landed on the moon, but not with manned spacecraft. So they were able to get it there, and it just crashed into the moon. So there's like, I think there's like a dozen like crashed things on the moon now. Like the Indians have now done it, the Chinese have done it. Like going, we're gonna hit the moon. They got it to the moon. Great. Next stop, send some people up there. That's cool. But we were in a race because it was the Cold War, and it needed to be done because we were really in a fight. If you guys don't remember that time, I mean, obviously, most of you probably do not remember that time. I don't exactly remember that time. I was born in 68. So I do believe I saw them land on the moon. I was like 3-4 months old, maybe 1, I don't know. But I don't remember what date exactly they did. So my subconscious mind absolutely has it in there. At least I was hearing it if I was, because I know it was on and I was in the room, probably. But my point is here that there were so many things that were against them making this happen. It was incredible. And if you look at that here now, you say, okay, well, I have all this technology. I have this computer here. I'm recording a podcast. I'm broadcasting it out to the world. Throw it on YouTube and the socials and everything. Millions of people can, if they wanted to, click on me and listen to me right now. Millions, probably billions now. No problem. Boom. There it is. That is technology. Now we've got private companies sending up rockets, satellites, all this technology going on. It's amazing. Now take it all away. Take it all away. And what do you have? You've got a challenge. All right? So if we get down to it, we break it down to the mind scrambler of this is that it's all between your ears. There's so much chatter going on between your ears. Maybe you've lost sight of your moon. Maybe you've lost sight of what you need. You need to get rid of all the junk that's in your brain and say, hey, hold on, what do I actually have to work with in this cockpit, in this capsule that I have? What do I have to work with? What do I have to put together to make me move forward? Like a prime example here, like I was talking earlier when I started this, I'm figuring out how to utilize Twitch, YouTube, my podcast, Zoom, etc. And there are so many working parts. And it's been weeks that I've been trying to figure this out because every time I see one way, I'm like, oh, this is great. I can use this. No, I can't use that because this doesn't work there. So I'm figuring all that stuff out. What do I have to work with as far as coaching? Somebody asked me this the other day. Said, what can you talk on for 30 minutes with no notes and just talk on? What's your jam? And I was like, oh, dude, I got relationships, communication, connection, dating, cooking, foodie stuff. I can talk about voiceover. I can talk about public speaking. I can talk about what was the other thing? Sailing. I can talk about. There's so many things I can talk about. And it was just like, wow, I got a lot of stuff I can talk about. So I have a lot to work with in my quote unquote in the cockpit, in my capsule. So how does all that come together? Well, it comes together with the Mind Scrambler. This is my ship right now. The Mind Scrambler is how I'm getting to the moon. This is part of it. And where you have problems in your life is a lot of times it's in between your ears. When we say, Houston, we have a problem. Do you notice they all have southern accents because it's Houston, which was where I was born and raised. And I've actually been in NASA. I did a voice for a little animated robot for NASA. I think you talk like this. It's like, hey, well, how are you doing, everybody? Welcome to NASA. Stuff like that. So I've been in there, and I've got to see some of their control stuff. It was really cool, by the way. So that watching First Man, it just hit me how really, really hard it was. Not only do you've got the space race, you've got this, you've got this timetable. You're dealing with stuff that you don't even know yet, figuring it out as you go, and you're having criticism. You've got people against you. It's not like the entire country was you, yay, yay, rah, rah. It was controversial. There were politics. There were people fighting you all the way. What if you have, you've got an idea. Most people aren't really fighting you. There might be some people who doubt you, or maybe not on your team, or even some of the people that will say, like, out of the kindness of their heart, and they mean it, but they're like, well, you should really give up. That's a crazy pipe dream. Thanks, Aunt Mabel. Appreciate it. Not going to take your advice, because that's my moon, and I'm going to get there. Failure is not an option. Success is the only option. Success sometimes takes a lot of tries. Takes a lot of tries. And I've used this all the time. Even Tony Robbins uses this. It's like, when your kid, you have a baby, and your kid tries to walk, and he falls down. Do you say, oh, well, there you go. He tried. It didn't work, so let's go ahead and get him a wheelchair? No, obviously not. It takes time, it takes training, it takes effort, and it takes a whole shitload of falling on your ass. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I have fallen on my ass a lot. Some of you guys know my story. Bankruptcy, divorce, losing everything, starting over. Got out to LA. Never made that much money. I mean, I did survive. It's a success story if you think about it. I didn't get to like A-list status or anything like that, but I made my living as an actor in LA for about 14, 15 years. And up until, this whole craziness, I was doing that. The conventions helped, obviously. So my convention appearances, from time to time, they helped. And that's where I'm here in Australia because of the convention. And then COVID hit and we're still here, right? But I have done one voiceover gig in 4 or 5 months now. That's it. No more. So it's like, wow, how do I pivot? Is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I don't know, but that's what it is. And there are a lot of challenges for me personally. There are challenges for you personally. Everyone has their challenges. How you look at them determines what's going to happen with them. I look at my challenges and say, okay, this is what I have to work with. What am I doing now? So I'm focusing on my coaching. I'm focusing on my podcast. I'm not focusing on doing all the auditions and trying to get more work, in the voiceover world. I'm not even focusing on that right now because I believe my genius zone, my zone of genius is this, is sharing, is talking, is promoting ideas and personal growth and self-help. I've been in this arena for 30 years plus, and I love it. I love it. I work on myself consistently and constantly. I am tweaking this, tweaking that so I can get to the moon. I'm tweaking my lunar rover. Don't ask me what part of me that is, because I don't know. I'm just going. But whatever it is, I'm going to get to that moon, my success point. I have different goals in different areas. That's my moon. And I'm going to get there. It doesn't matter what happens. That just means I'm going to have to tack and go a different way for a while, and then tack and go a different way for a while, whatever it is. But if you think like an astronaut, man, you are reaching for the freaking stars. They were literally reaching for the freaking stars. Okay, the moon's not a star, whatever. But you know what I'm saying. That's what they do. And that's what you do. If you're going to reach for it, there are going to be problems. There are going to be things that will be thrown in your way. You've got to just move around them and keep going. You know what I would say? Astronauts always look up. There it is. The moon is way out there. That's where they're going. Every astronaut movie, what are they doing? They're looking up. They're looking up. Always look up. That's where your dreams are. Your dreams aren't down by your shoes. Your dreams aren't at your navel staring at your stomach, your feet, your shoe, your knees. Look up like astronauts. Always look up. Your moon is there for you, and you've got to clear out of your ears. You got to clear out the feeling of, I can't do that. You can. They could too, and boy, did they have doubts. Are you kidding me? Here's this thing that has never ever happened. I want to do that. How am I going to do that? I have no idea, but guess what? I'm going to do that. There's something in NLP, they say, look, you set your goal. You are thankful for achieving that goal. It's coming to you. You know it. Now forget about it. Shut up. How it happens, none of your business. You just said it. It's out there. It's done. Now, you go to work and you say, all right, I'm going to go get that. I'm going to go get that. You know, there's something else I looked up, and it said 40% of all NASA space launches failed. 40%. 4 out of 10 failed. Now think about that. 4 out of 10 failed. You think about that, well, that's pretty good odds, actually. It's 60% work. Well, not when you're dealing with, human beings and things that can, blow up. What does failure mean? Well, Challenger, Columbia, those were failures. 14 human beings, 14 souls perished in those things. Now, would you consider that a failure? Yeah, obviously. But you also consider it a lesson. They found out, they learned from that. So it's not a failure, obviously. And after those tragedies, could they have given up? Could they have said, you know what, we're done. We're not going to do this anymore. I think they actually kind of did. Or they're just moving on to a different way. But I'm talking about the original space race here, though. That's why I'm saying it's so good to think about the original space race. Because they had a goal, no idea how they were going to get there, but they said, we're going to do it. And they said, all right, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to figure out how to make that happen, and go. That's it. Think about that in your life. Think about something you really, really want, something you really want to do. That's your moon. Say, all right, that's what I want to do. Now, how do you do it? Don't know. Gonna figure it out. You're going to figure it out. Try something. That didn't work. Great. Try something else. That didn't work. Great. Try something else. That didn't work. Great. Every time something doesn't work, every time it's a quote unquote failure, you go, great. Awesome. Always look up. I'm always looking up. Because that's where my goal is. That's what's important. Following your goal. Keeping your eyes on your moon. That's what matters. People come at you from every angle. If you are in the public eye, wow, you can have so many failures and come back. Look at people like Mel Gibson, for example. Oh, he popped into my mind. But Mel Gibson had one of the biggest blowout, ranting, drunken, nutty stuff. Is like, he is done. He is done. No, he's not. He's in movies again. He's directing again. I just saw him live last year, and he was charming as hell and just awesome and funny. He's an incredible actor and a really incredible director. So he's not done. But see, when you're in the public eye, it's like, oh my gosh, that is so terrible. Now, sometimes people can't come back from that, but you know what? It's probably because they quit. And they go, my gosh, I can't live up after that. That's crazy. I'm going to go away. But when you see the successes, when you see the success of people achieving their moon, you've got to look at how many failures there were to get them there. Some of them really bad. I mean, Neil Armstrong, according to the movie, I don't know how factual it is, but according to the movie, he lost his daughter. She was like 2. And to cancer. And it was terrible tragedy. That destroys families. And he kept going. He kept going and kept going. And he achieved something that no other human being had achieved. And he walked on the freaking moon. Literally from no idea how we're going to do it to there. I mean, look at Mars now. We talk about Mars. We're going to go to Mars. Well, we have a really good idea of how to do it because we've already done all the hard work. They did that. They were the pioneers. Sometimes you have to learn stuff as you go. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I will say stop beating yourself up and remember, like an astronaut, always look up. The journey can be hard. But if your moon is valuable enough to you, if it is so strong, it is bright, it is beautiful, it is there, you have that passion, it's in your heart, then figure it out. Just like the astronauts did. And if anybody comes at you and says, hey, you know what? Ignore it. Ignore it. If you have criticism, if you have people saying you can't do it, you're stupid, you're crazy, you'll never amount to anything, well, you know what? They're just talking about their own lives, not yours. You know where you're going. Whatever it is in your life, achieve your freaking moon. Because Houston, we have a problem. Great. We got it. We know what that is. It's between our ears. Tackle it like a freaking astronaut, man. Go through the tests. Go through the trials. Sometimes tragedies will happen. I know. I've had them in my life. I kept going. I had a horrible tragedy. I had my own fire in my life. I lost absolutely everything I knew and loved. Now what's going on? I have an amazing, beautiful wife. I've got this gorgeous little 3-year-old boy, and we're traveling the world. We're in freaking Australia right now. And I'm finishing up a podcast. I mean, how cool is this? If I had given up, I could have just said, nope, I'm done. I'm out. But I didn't. I still have way far to go. My moon is still out there. We're not done. I'm still working hard to get to where I am. I have failures. I'm in the middle of some huge ass failures right now. I'm not going to share them with you right now, but big, they would say, big cock-ups, you know. It was a terrible cock-up. And it's happening to me right now. Doesn't matter. There's my moon. I'm always looking up. And that's what I'm going to leave you guys with today. I hope this has been a fun, enlightening podcast. Go out there, always look up, find your moon, make it happen. And I'll see you on the next Mind Scrambler podcast. Go get 'em. Done. Hey, Finch Zero. I hope you're still here. I want to say thank you so much for coming. I can't talk to anybody when I'm doing my podcast, so Ashley's here. Let's see, what else? Who else is here that I missed? Wait a minute, Finch Zero. Is that Ty? Oh, yeah, okay. I think it's Ty. Oh, yep, there it is, Ty. It's Ty. Cool. Yep. See you later, buddy. Go get it. Go do your thing. So, that's it for today, everybody. I just wanted to get that out there. It was just that divine download, man. Listen to that, watching the story and going, wow, oh my God. It never really hit me how hard they worked. How many failures. I mean, our failures in our lives, 9 times out of 10, maybe 99 out of 100, maybe 999 out of 1,000 don't involve death. I mean, holy balls. That is some serious shit right there. It's like, well, you know, I lost some money. Okay, that sucks, but, you know, you're still breathing. Oh, she broke my heart. Oh, that sucks, but you're still breathing. I blew up in a space capsule. You're dead. You don't come back from that. So, damn. That's some serious action right there. I don't know, I was just thinking about it. It just really hit me. And it was like, I want to talk about this. Because I've been dealing more with these podcasts with you guys. You know, I'm going more on the passion side. It's like, what is in my brain? What is it? What do I want to talk about today? And so anyway, that was that was fun. I enjoyed that. Yeah, it was nice. It was nice. It was great. Yeah, I had fun with that. Let's see here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to fix this. While I'm with you here, get noise profile, get it all, and I'm taking out taking out static and whatnot. So, and now I'll have this podcast to go in. Now, as you guys know, my podcasts all of them are available on my website, spikespencer.com/podcast, but only up to 25 or so, or 24, something like that, are available on iTunes, because I release them every Monday now. So, yeah, there you go. That's how it works. I am saving this one. Export to MP3. And there we go. Booyah. Done. Look at that. Oh, shoot. I can't. Oh. He's done. Between our ears. Son of a biscuit. All right. Bam. Done. All right. Podcast. All I got to do now is add my intro, outro, and we're good to go. So that one is done. I've got so many other ones coming up. Yeah, I'm just going to keep on doing. I'm going to keep working on this Twitcheroo thing you do. And Kim's got some new marketing stuff for YouTube, which is cool. So learning, because I've got like 1,000 followers on YouTube, or subscribers, and I haven't done anything with it because I got some issues. If anybody really knows how to work with YouTube, I'd love to talk with you, because I am like, I don't know what I'm doing over there, but I am learning. See, I'll figure it out. Because this is what I want. I want to be able to do this all over the world, and which I'm doing. I mean, I'm in freaking Australia. It doesn't get much further than that. Actually, if things go well and I do Sydney and Perth, then I will be at the edge of the world, because Perth is the most isolated city on the planet. Because there's nothing. There's Perth, and then there's Australia. The nearest one is like Adelaide or something. That's a far, far, far away. There we go. While I'm here, I may take a look at something. I might have an audition. I'll go ahead and do it. Let's see. Because if I do, set new password. I don't want to set new password. Shut up. There we go. I got 2 of them here. I got 2 auditions right here. Look at that. Look at that. Cool. Emotional. Tone of voice can be factual, so as not to drift off into the esoteric. Pace. At a good pace, but not rushed. Tone. Thoughtful, open, factual, not salesy or overly enthusiastic. These are the kind of things that I get. So it's like really weird. Okay, so anyway, guys, that is it for the day. I'm going to go ahead and pop out of here. I think Kim is out there with Decky, and I may go join them somewhere if she has sent me a message. Otherwise, I'm probably going to just eat. Yeah. All right, guys, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time right here on the Mind Scrambler podcast, or the Mind Scrambler show, depending. We'll see. Later.